Before getting into any editing, we need to make sure that our audio is playing back through our audio device correctly. Now, this is using the standalone application. And for the majority of this video series, I'm going to be using the standalone application. And then later in the series, I'll show you how you can use it as a plugin in your DAW. I'll also be focusing on RX Advanced. I'll mention if a feature is only exclusive to Advanced. So if you're using Standard, you know which features you might be missing. Then there's also RX Elements that's missing a few features. If you want to see the differences between the different versions, check out on the iZotope site to see what's missing and what's available on each different version. So let's see now how to set up the audio device. To do this, you need to go to your preferences. On the Mac, you go to the iZotope RX menu and then down to Preferences, but on the PC, you'll be going to File and then Preferences. Then on here, you'll choose the audio device that correlates to your system. If you're on a Mac, you're going to be using Core Audio, and on a PC, you're going to be using the ASIO Audio. So when I select Core Audio, I can now see my input device. If you click on these drop-down menus, you can see all the audio devices that are available on your system. If you don't see your device here, just make sure that you've installed the correct driver for it. You can select a different output device if you wish, but I'm going to stick to the same input and output device, which is my Behringer UMC 404 HD. By default, it's using the preferred layout, which is the film layout, but you can also select the SMPTE option. For now, let's stick with film. And then the buffer size can also be changed. By default, it's set to 2048, but you can make a smaller buffer size or a higher one. Obviously, the lower you go, you're going to have a less latency, especially when you're recording audio in, but you might get some clicks and pops if you go too low. And when you're going higher, you're going to get a better audio resolution, but your system might take a bit of strain when you get higher. And the file sizes of recording audio in will obviously be a lot bigger if you're using a bigger buffer size. Then the stereo dynamics option is going to be using the default, but as you can see here, you do have some other options available to you, like some surround dynamics formats. Now, to test that everything is working correctly, you can send a test tone. I can tick that, and it sends some pink noise. I can check the channel identification,
left channel,
and change that
right
volume
channel,
of that test tone.
left.
Another thing I want to point out is you'll see that there's this other option here, RX Monitor. Now, you're mainly going to be using this driver if you're using a plugin version and using RX Connect to send the audio from your DAW through to the standalone application. For example, in your DAW, you'll have an audio or aux track. I'll add the RX Connect plugin, and then that will send the audio through to the standalone application. Or in Pro Tools, you can use it as an audio suite effect and then apply processing that way by sending it to RX Standalone. And the reason for this is some of the features are not available in the plugin that are available in the standalone application. And that's also the reason I'm going to be focusing in on the standalone application so that you can see the full feature set of RX. And like I did mention, I will show you later in the series how to use it as a plugin and how to use RX Connect. So now that we know that everything is set up and working correctly, let's see how we can start adding some audio into RX.